Θα συνεχίσουμε με μια ομιλία που αφορά την ενσωμάτωση των νέων κατευθυντήριων οδηγιών της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, των GDPs, στην καθημερινότητα μιας διεθνούς εταιρείας διανομής φαρμάκων. Ομιλήτρια θα είναι η κυρία Zmicerevska. Είναι υπεύθυνη ανάπτυξης εργασιών, του Τμήματος Ανάπτυξης Εργασιών της Astra Logistics, στην Λετονία.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Nice to see you here, all of you. And I would like to thank you for having me here, and special thanks, and on behalf of management of my company and CEOs, to Mr. Dontis and Mediline team for organizing this opportunity to present my company and to share experience how we do in cold chain, and how actually new GDPs changed our activities. So, I'm representing Astra Logistics company. We are partnering with Mediline, and we are situated in Latvia, in the capital city in Riga. I'm business development manager, so I do also in cold chain, and I'm also GDP trained by Robert Hayes, by cold chain consultant, and I find this knowledge very useful. I will explain in short what we do, how we do, and how we partner with Mediline. So actually we are situated in Riga, in Latvia, but as you have seen on this slide, we cover also other regions, and we are represented also in Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and we also work for Mongolia. So these are the regions of our interest, and we implement cold chain also there. Of course, these regions does not imply the GDP rules as the directive for the law system, but anyway, the companies, international pharmaceutical companies that work in that district are interested in high-quality European standards, and that is why knowing GDP and implying also in other regions is very important. And the ultimate aim is to provide patient safety in any case. So the company itself was established in 2003, and this year we celebrated 10 years of our activity. The company has a very good location. It's situated near the airport, in the airport zone, and we have also direct access to the tarmac, meaning that we can provide very good quality of air shipment, especially for pharma products. Our company is a member of different organizations and associations because it helps us to network, to gain new knowledge, to gain new partners, and to develop not only in our region, but also in other districts, in other regions of the world. So, as you can see, we are quite active in Caucasus and Central Asian countries, and our government is establishing relationship with government of those countries, and pharmaceutical logistics is one of them, one of the directions that gets most of attention. This is the picture of our warehouse. This is newly built. It's only of 3 years and has facilities that are necessary for keeping and ensuring cold chain. So, to be short and to tell what distinguishes us from other companies, yes, we are an outsourcing company, but we cover the regions that are not covered by our competitors or companies that work in Europe. Recently, we became a subcontractor of DHL company, and we ensure cold chain for them in Europe and through Riga hub that we have 2 other districts in Central Asia and Caucasus. We have medical representatives, we have qualified persons who are responsible for quality of the processes, and they have pharmaceutical education. But as we know, GDP states that it's not a must, it's desirable for them to have education in pharmacy or medical education. Then, of course, we provide monitoring system. It's not something that allows you to follow completely via internet or in online system. But anyway, we provide solutions that help our customers to follow that the temperature regime is kept within the whole transportation. And afterwards, after the transportation, for example, our customers receive a total printout of what was done at what temperature regime at loading, reloading, disloading, and collecting the cargo. So we have some optimization processes going on the previous year, and now we can offer the best solution if we speak about effectiveness and cost. But of course, speaking about pharma logistics, one should understand that sometimes you need to pay more to get better quality. Why? Because as an example of our company, we do only pharma logistics. We do not transport other products or goods. And this means that sometimes the truck goes empty to one direction to pick up products or otherwise. Means that the costs are quite high. But this is the way we can ensure the quality of the product, temperature regime, and that it's free from odors, smells, dirt, whatever that can be left from the previous transportation. And of course, mixing of cargoes is not acceptable at all. So if we speak about our structure and regional presence, what I've already told you, we have representative offices, we have the daughter company in Moscow, the office of 4 or 5 people, and of course we have some objects to work or be presented better in Kyrgyzstan and Azerbaijan, the regions that still are not with stable rules for pharmaceutical market, but the regions that are quite targeted by pharmaceutical companies and that have some potential in development. Concerning the references, if you can see, we perform different services in different regions. Of course, it's very difficult to organize it from abroad, let's say sitting in Riga, and to manage activities in Caucasus. But we have our people who work for us there. They are employed by us, they are paid by us, and this is the way how we can ensure also that they put the same quality as we do in Europe, they put in their region. So as you've seen, there are some companies that we work permanently with, mainly pharmaceutical companies that we are taking products from. And also there are some business references available. They are our constant partners for cold chain products. So concerning our partners, we can arrange the full range of outsourcing services, starting from registration of pharmaceutical product and finally distribution, even last mile distribution. And in this case, if we come to the question of ensuring quality of last mile distribution, we need to thank our partners, Mediline, for providing a very good last mile solution within the range of their product that is widely used also by our customers in the zones where the average temperatures are very high, in exactly Central Asia and in Caucasus countries. We also do logistics and distribution. We do it by our own transport and also by subcontractors, our partners. Generally, we do distribution by our own countries in Europe, by our own transport, in Europe and to Russia. Sometimes to deliver products to Central Asia, we use subcontractors. So many products are already registered in that region. This means that we are quite successful, and people who work with us, they are our long-term partners. Concerning our main disposition, this is the hub in Riga that we have near the airport. So we use it also as a place to consolidate the cargo or make the groupage, because sometimes when we make shipments, we usually load the full truck for Turkmenistan, for example. So it means that we need to collect from pharmaceutical companies the cargo, keep it, store it in a cold room, for example, in our hub in Riga. Then, as soon as we got all the products that are necessary to ship, we consolidate the cargo and ship it further. So it is like a bridge between Europe and Asia. So speaking about the logistics services, we provide international sea and air transportation. Of course, we do not own the sea lines or air transport companies, no. We have direct contracts with the sea companies and air companies. Most of them are seen on this slide. They sit near us in Riga airport. And these direct contracts allow us to control at least what's possible till the premises of storage or custom storage in the airport, the quality of the cold chain. Then, of course, we provide the best solution for our customer, and we see what's possible to ship which way and whether the product allows, for example, sea shipment, because it's quite long. Then, of course, we provide our main services, ground logistics. We have a fleet of our own transport, these trucks of Euro 6 and Euro 5 class. As for railway career, we do provide this service, especially for Russia, and we work with one company that is very popular in our district. It's Sungate company. But the problem with rail logistics is that to be effective in this case, you need to provide big cargo. So it is six platforms, cargo platforms minimum, that is efficient to ship. If it's less, then we need to find another solution for transportation. We have modern trucks, Mercedes of model 2013. They allow to transport goods in 2 chambers with different temperature regimes. And this is a very good solution also for modal shipment. For example, when we need to ship in this Mercedes, in one part we ship products, in another part at minus 20-25 we ship thermal elements, which we put then into the boxes because, for example, the route doesn't imply that there is an airport with cold facilities, or it's a long-term transportation, for example, to Tajikistan or to Mongolia that demands some reloading or some additional activities. Of course, all the activities are made by professional staff who are taught to work with those products and who are also GDP taught and all the demands of our local legislation. So concerning our transport facilities, is just the usual temperature controlled trucks and cars. I don't think that there could be something special about this. If we speak about the temperature control, then of course it's necessary to provide not only during transportation but also storage. So we have A-class European warehouse, and we have also facilities of 2 refrigerator cameras, and we also have special refrigerator installed for recharging the gel elements that thermal elements that we receive from our partners. What we have GSP, GMP and GDP observance, and also certificates and special licenses that allow us to work in the cold chain, GDP and GMP namely. The inventory control system that we use allows us to consolidate the cargo very fast and to find the cargo in the warehouse, because it's quite big and it's separated to the European part and the custom warehouse, where the products that are awaiting shipment to another district, non-European district, are waiting their turn. So the cold rooms are especially used for keeping cold chain products, and also, as I've told you, to store and condition thermal elements. Temperature control monitoring system, we use them in our warehouse. We do the mapping, we have the alarm system. The alarm also is via SMS. It's sent to several people who are involved in warehouse activities. We use the report system, etc. But all these activities, they were already done before the new GDP came into force, of course, and nothing changed actually here. Our security infrastructure, why I'm putting it here, because many of our customers, because they are auditing us very often, they ask for some special services or special conditions. For example, this physical security was asked by one of our customers, and that's why we decided that we need also to put it on our information that we can provide this type of service on your demand, and of course it's necessary and important for different customers. Fire security is also of great interest. For example, Teva company with whom we are working, they actually asking for a special sprinkle system. So this was modified because we had sprinkle system before, but because of this special demands from Teva, we modified the system. So it has now sprinkle system with every equipment and every point establishing fire extinguishers, fire exits, and so on. Concerning the GDP rules and what was changed, that just go fast. What was already Robert Hayes mentioning and what we do. The conformance to label is a must also for us because what we do first, we look at the papers for pharmaceutical products, where it's stated how you must keep them at what temperature regime. Then, of course, we use we validate shipments, we validate transportation, because we use subcontractors, we also qualify them. We do not use services of unqualified subcontractors, because we must provide and control the quality of transportation. Risk assessment of every procedure. During the previous week, we had 2 days risk management seminar for our staff because risk assessment was not as widely used as it is now before because it was not in such a demand. Yes, risks were identified and some of them were evaluated, but in general, the risk assessment and identification was not such in a detailed way. So now we pay more attention to all kinds of risks, and what we do that every person who is responsible for a certain procedure lists all the risks that could be met in the process. Then we brainstorm and we discuss, maybe we have left something out, or maybe we put some risks that are not actual for the procedure. We revised our documentation. This is also a demand from our partners and people and companies who audit us to make proper documentation of what we do, of our procedures. And it's not only like you need to have the documents that are set, you need to make them in a certain form, for example, putting date, signature, the version on every copy of the document that you have. And of course to have them in electronic version and in paper version. Training schedules. In this respect, we changed a little bit because we had training schedules, but they were not planned. There were no dates or people divided into groups. We revised this. We made a schedule together with our partners who provide this type of education, this type of training. We divided people into groups, and several groups already went through GDP training. And concerning training, we also make training schedules for the future with certain dates and people who must go through certain training. Of course, not everybody goes through, for example, training that is focused on bookkeeping or some logistics matters. So it depends on the field and on procedures people perform. Checklists. This was completely new for us because we introduced it as soon as the changes appeared in GDP. And checklists, they refer not only to our activities and procedures, but also to our partners, subcontractors, and future partners that we are going to work with in the future. Validate suppliers, contractors, etc. What is the best in this way, in our cooperation with Mediline, that they provide completely validated solutions. And we don't need to think that something will go wrong. And actually, why we chose them for being our partners, it's just we assume that among all the European producers that are present on the market during this period of time, they supplied the best quality of the product. So it was our choice, our mutual choice, and we are happy to have Mediline as partners. If we speak about correct suppliers, then of course you need to think about your needs, your demands, and you must be careful with the choice, because you've seen today also that some solutions are of course not appropriate for situation. Temperature control, ambient transport. We all know that plus 15, plus 25 is also temperature-controlled shipment, storage, transportation. So it's very important to monitor and to control temperature also when you do so-called ambient shipment or temperature control shipment. Loading temperature. Sometimes when we are loading products, we follow a certain procedure. We have soaps for procedures, but sometimes it's not necessary, or it seems that the temperature is okay. Because sometimes we have prescriptions from our customers, from our suppliers, that you need to ship at this and that temperature. But in other cases, it's not necessary. Now we started mapping loading temperature just for the case. This is also a risk that there could be a deviation during the transportation time, but it's not actually our fault, so we can prove our quality to our partners and our subcontractors. Self-audit. Yes, after we heard about the new GDP, we made a complete audit, self-audit of our procedures, and we were trying to find weak spots and weak places that should be changed. The CAPA plan, the Corrective and Prevention Activities Plan, that was actually one of the most difficult points, because you need to think about all possible variants. What you need to do, you need to investigate complaints, you need to control the changes that happen, you need to look around, you need actually to monitor your activity every day to understand that you are compliant or non-compliant. And in case if you are non-compliant, what you should do to be compliant and to provide the best quality. If we speak about fastness of reaction, then we are trying to use fast equipment, and we also bought some pocket probes that are very fast in measuring temperatures, for example, and we are not using and decided not to use infrared equipment, for example, for measuring temperature. We also do reviewing of the data, and the responsible person is checking and reviewing the data and the information that is stored. Then what was also changed, we made the documentation, additional documentation, we made all the procedures in written, in computer form, electronic form, and also in paper form. And of course signed, dated with time, version, and so on. Concerning risks, we followed the process that cold chain consultants taught us, starting from risk identification. Then, of course, not only measuring the risks, but deciding what we can do to reduce them and at which step of our supply chain we can escape risks or we can take these risks. And, of course, we communicate the risks, and we must understand that people who work in the supply chain and who has anything to do, even if they only supply documents, they must be sure about the risk that they take or the risk that could appear in this situation. Business continuity plan. This was our weak spot, and we changed it completely because we started thinking from the point of view, okay, if there is a situation that, for example, your subcontractor does not send to you the correct truck, or even is not sending the truck at all, what should you do? Of course, we should have some other companies, other partners that we can use and use their services. So we started to be more serious about the continuity plan because very often many problems can occur, especially if we do ground transportation from, let's say, Europe to Turkmenistan or even Mongolia. It could be 2 weeks or more, 14, 15 days shipment, so anything can happen during the way. And of course, trainings of personnel. We came to the point that we also train subcontractors. Not, of course, the whole company, but people who work with us, especially drivers and especially responsible persons. And before signing any agreement about the partnership, we agree also the point that we need to give information, we need to teach or train people who work in the cold chain to provide the best quality that we can. This is all that I wanted to share with you. Here is the contact data of my company. You're welcome to ask questions, and thank you for your attention.
Όποιοι θέλουν να κάνουν ερωτήσεις μπορούν να τις κάνουν. Δεν βλέπεις τίποτα. Thank you very much, Diana.
Thank you very much. Don't hesitate to contact me in breaks or afterwards by email. Thank you.